Hey guys, how are you? Lockie here, Storytellers Distillery. Now, a few of you have received your hyper seasonals, Cut the Red Grape. That is our first hyper seasonal release. Congratulations. Really excited to know what you guys think. But we released a cocktail on Instagram yesterday, which had a sneaky little number in there, which a lot of you don't have access to, being a coconut raspberry soda. That's what I'm here for today. I'm going to show you exactly how to make that, and it's pretty easy to do at home. All you need is a few essential ingredients.
All right, so this is our bar. Welcome. I've got just a few basic ingredients and utensils that we'll be using for today. Of course, I've got some kitchen scales, as well as some more accurate versions. We've got some mixing jugs, a strainer, something to mix with. Of course, we've got some coconut water, just bought from the supermarket, and some coconut chips as well. We've got some sugar. We've got some things just to store our final sodas in. So I've got a little flexible plastic bottle here, a glass jar, a funnel to support things from, masking tape and a Sharpie just to label things. And just over here as well, I've got our stovetop. Now this is already on, just preheating so that we can get straight into it.
Alrighty, let's get started. So, what we're going to be making firstly is basically any sort of soda that's flavored is literally sparkling water or soda water flavored with a syrup. So if you ever go to a pub or a restaurant where they've got sodas on tap, like Coke, Pepsi, they're usually from something called post-mix, which is a syrup in a bag that then is mixed with soda water at the point of dispense on those soda guns. So we're going to be making our syrup, and that's where the differences come between the two coconut raspberry sodas we'll be making today. Come in is one's just going to be a syrup mixed with soda water, and one's going to be a coconut raspberry soda that's been carbonated. So depending on what equipment you've got at home, we'll go either down one route or down the other. But to be honest, like the equipment you'll need to do the actual coconut raspberry soda self-carbonation, a soda stream, you can even buy sort of cheap versions of soda streams at the supermarket now. So there's really no excuses, but we're doing both just in case you don't have one. Cool. So I'm gonna start with a measuring jug. We're gonna be making a syrup. That's gonna be a raspberry coconut syrup. There are three ingredients that we'll be using to make that. Of course, raspberries, which I didn't show you before, but we've got some here. We've opted for frozen because fresh at the moment, they're just not as good as they usually are in season. So we've opted for frozen instead. Let's open that up for later. Cool. So to make a syrup, basically all you need to do is create a sugar water solution, put it on the stove, put your flavoring ingredient in this case it's going to be raspberry and coconut, and let it cook and stew for a little while. So that's what we're going to be doing. But we like to try and use every opportunity we can to add more flavor. So in this case, because we've got a coconut and raspberry soda, instead of using water for mixing with the sugar and then adding coconut shavings and raspberries, we're going to be using coconut water. So that's why I've got coconut water here as well. Cool. So any sugar syrup, it's best to be consistent, always measure things and label things the same way. And for us making a sugar water solution, we do everything by weight. So it's a 1-to-1 by weight, which basically means for every 100 grams of sugar that we put into our sugar syrup, we're going to be putting 100 grams of water. Not necessarily 100 mils of sugar and 100 mils of water, because then that would be by volume. So get our scales, put that on here. I'm going to be making a litre, so around a litre. So I'm going to be doing 500 grams of sugar and 500 grams of water. Let's start with the sugar, just straight in like that. 500 grams of sugar, perfect. I'm just going to tear off the scales. Do 500 grams of water, but in this case, because we want coconut flavour, we're going to be doing coconut water, which has a pesky on there. Alrighty, 500 grams. Coconut water comes in all different shapes and sizes. To be honest, even if you crack a fresh coconut and drink the water from it, depending on the coconut, it's going to taste very different as well. So this brand, if you're interested, is called Cocoa Coast, and it seems to be pretty good. We'll see. There's 500 grams of water. Awesome. Now to that 1 litre, this is a 300 gram bag of frozen raspberries. It's probably going to be a bit overkill, to be honest, but we want lots of flavour, so we're putting in 250 grams of that 300 seems about right. Just going to give it a bit of a stir. So now the point of this stirring is just to dissolve in the sugar into the coconut water. You can see it's turning a nice pink colour. Obviously that's from the raspberries, but we're going to be cooking it, and cooking of course brings out way more flavour. Now I'm just going to stir it enough so that most of the sugar is off the bottom of the container, so that I can pour it straight into the saucepan, which is going to be quite hot by now. Alrighty. It's spicy meat, all that one. So we get all that sugar, all that raspberry out of the container and straight into the pot. Great. We'll put our lid on that one. Of course, the lid will help bring it up to temperature quicker, but we went to all the effort of making sure our ratio between coconut water and sugar was correct. It'd be a bit of a shame if we went ahead and cooked it without a lid and lost all that water. So lid on, put it on full blast, wait for it to come to the boil, let it stew for maybe 20 minutes is about right. I'll be back. Almost forgot as well the coconut shavings. So again, we're just going to go by feel here. About that much. That's 20 grams of coconut shavings. It's ready.
Alrighty, so this is just coming to the boil now. It's only been about 5 minutes. Just give it a little stir. Look at that. And I'll just bring the temperature down a bit. The lid back on. Give it maybe another 20.
Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes now. We're just going to set this some plastic container up, funnel, so that when we come straight, not a funnel, strainer, so when we come straight off the stove, we're going to go straight through the strainer. Alrighty, just be careful, quite hot, obviously. Great. All that goodness. It's going to seem quite thin because it's still warm. Once it cools down, it'll thicken up a little bit. Okay, so we got a delicious little syrup. Let's give it a little taste. Right, so I'm going to carefully pour this now into a bottle. Lid, put that aside. Get a sneaky label. Always be careful putting hot things in glass. I've learned this the hard way. And always label everything too, because you'll quickly forget what's what. All right. And in the fridge to cool down. All right, now that that's cooled down, I'm going to show you the first way we're going to make our coconut soda using our syrup. So I'll pull it out of the fridge. Right there. See that written on there? Might be backwards. Weird. I'm going to need glass. And we're just going to make this as a highball, just a soda water. So like having a glass of lemonade or a glass of Coke, we're going to have a coconut raspberry soda. Cool. So we need some ice for our glass, which I'll just go get. Of course, our syrup. Now, depending on how sweet this is, depends on how much you'll need. So this is all about experimentation. I'm going to go 25 mils in our glass. And then soda water. We have the means to carbonate our own water here, so this is homemade soda, and this is what we're using to make our actual soda water in the next version. So there's a little bit in there, nice little bubbles. You can see how it layers up. That's because the syrup's still at the bottom. So you just want to make sure you stir and mix it all in like that. You're going to lose a little bit of bubbles doing that, so just top it up with some fresh. Cheers. That was 25 mils, probably needs just a touch more. So for this one, I'm going to put another 15. Another stir. There you go. Beautiful. All right, now part two. This is the second way to make a soda, and this is either a soda stream or some sort of home carbonation system at home. Now we know from our previous test that it was about 40 mils of syrup works really well with a glass of soda water. I know through experience that our glasses with ice have room for about 160 mils. So that final soda water you just saw was 160 mils. Of that, 40 mils is syrup. So you're looking at about 25% by volume of syrup to mixer to get the right balance, right? So we're going to be making that again. This time though, we're going to be doing it inside our nice little flexible plastic bottle and using, if I've got it, I'll find it. Using a little carbonation screw-on cap as well without CO. Oh, here it is. This little thing. So this lets CO2 into the bottle. Cool. So it was about 25%. These are a 500 ml bottle, so we'll make 500 mils of soda, which is about 125 grams of syrup, and the rest mixer. So I was working in volume, and I've sort of gone against my own rule here and moved over to weight. There we go, about 125 grams. Now, we could just make this with water, make this up with water, carbonate it, and you'll have the exact same thing as what we just poured earlier. But instead, because we've got the opportunity here to add more flavour, we're going to be using coconut water. So bring this one back out from the fridge. I think these are 500. I'm just going to top this up to 500 grams. These might be 1 litre bottles. Yeah, it looks like they're 1 litre bottles. So we'll go about half full. Actually, no, let's go all the way if we can. So it's 500 roughly. Oh, that is 500. Put another 125 here. So I'm just doubling up now for 1 litre. Great. We'll top up with the rest of the coconut water. If I've got enough, we'll see. 1.25 litres, I think we're perfect here. 300. 400. Look at that. Perfect. 500. Cool. So now we've got our mix. The top on, just like that. With any home carbonation systems, you've got to be a little bit worried about solids, because solids, what they'll do is they'll provide nucleation points for the soda, for the carbonation bubbles. So if you've got something that's not very clear and has lots of solids, like this for instance, you're going to have heaps of foaming, heaps of bubbles. I'll show you that now actually. So this is what we've got. Little tank of CO2. Preset to a certain carbonation level. Bring this out the way and we'll see how this goes. So just pump it in. The colder the better. So this is ice cold. We've got the cold syrup, the cold coconut water that's been carbonated. Let's give it a nice little shake. And feel the bottle's a little bit more flexy. It's starting to absorb, and you can see the bubbles there. It's starting to absorb the carbon dioxide, so I'm just going to open it up, squeeze out that air, close it up again, carbonate again. And shake it while it's connected. Ideally, once this is properly done, you'd leave it overnight just to absorb in the fridge the CO2. Looking pretty good here, look at that. Gonna do it one more time. Might see some frothing, foaming here. Not much at all actually, that's perfect. Oh, yep, there it goes. One more pump. See how that goes. Cool, let's make a drink with it. All right, let's make a drink, shall we? A cut the red grape cocktail, beautiful. So, we're gonna shake. Get our jigger here. Of course, Hyper Seasonal 1, cut the red grape, brand new bottle. Delicious. 60 mils. 20 mils of lemon juice. Got in the fridge. That's all for now. Add some ice. Shake. Strainer. Just need a little bit of ice in this glass as well. It's my favourite glasses, these ones. Strain that in. Almost looking like our soda already. And then topping is our homemade raspberry soda. So in this instance, if you're using the syrup, I do maybe 10 mils of the syrup topped with regular soda water. Give it a taste, see if it's sweet enough. If it's not, then put a touch more syrup in. It's a beautiful looking drink. Give it a quick stir. There you go. Cheers, guys. Please post your creations if you make the raspberry syrup. Put it on the Facebook group and let's have a look.